Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians.
Welcome
Tonight,
back.
yeah, we got a great show for you. I'm going to well, we all had something this weekend. I just want to share some of the stuff that we did too, because we do other things besides the podcast. So let's talk about what we did this weekend. And we had a good time. Okay. You guys could come in anytime you guys want.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, we did. We had a paranormal psychic fair event in Boonton, New Jersey. We were one of the vendors. Each one of us came, and it was called the Hollow Beyond the Veil Bazaar. And it was a really wonderful Sunday afternoon. It was a beautiful day. And it's at the Elks Lodge, 100-year-old building, that we were then able to do a seance together with Richard Michella in the lodge, like where they actually do all of their like rituals in the meeting. Yeah. Thank you.
All that secret stuff that we got to go in and
I know there was a book next to me that said rituals, but I didn't touch it.
No, don't touch it.
You know, there were seats with those big. There was these like kind of medals or something. The
jewels. They call them the jewels.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to touch that because I don't want.
Right.
I feel if you're going to touch, you're going to evaporate or something. You know.
There are a lot of rules.
Yeah,
we learned a lot about the elks, about the rules, about the guards outside the door, inside the door. A lot of things we learned, and
a lot of things I wouldn't share with
some great
too.
people. Yeah, and we were giving lectures. Kim gave a lecture. Anthony gave a lecture, and they were excellent. People really enjoyed them. I guess I helped you give a lecture. Yes,
we did it together, so we had a good time.
And we did. It was really good. It was the first annual, so we love supporting new events.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so
new places. You know, everyone who watches this show knows we love new places.
Yeah, we had our friends there, Richard Michella and Bobby Gallo.
Yes,
two awesome people. I mean, they had their. Richard invited us into actually when he was giving his lecture. He invited us to be part of it, so that was awesome. You know, to be part of that.
It makes sense. We're always together.
And I met Nine Lives Paranormal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Empty Casket Paranormal, which I hadn't met them either. So that was great. And Father Evil, Kyle, my husband, has a fabulous photo with Father Evil.
I've seen that, yeah.
And it was really nice. It was a smaller event, but sometimes those are even better. So I think everybody who came in really had a good experience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. Yeah.
You know, the only experience I remember that night is that 2.5 hour ride home, sitting actually it was supposed to be like 50 minutes, and sitting on the George Washington Bridge before I even got to the bridge, I sat an hour.
What else is new?
I'm like,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, but. That's what haunted me more than anything else. I could deal with ghosts, but I can't deal with traffic. Tell you.
Jenny, he avoids New Jersey like the plague. He skipped right over New Jersey and got a place in PA.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And the PA place was closer to me, closer to where we just left from the Hollow. It was closer to there than going back to Queens.
Yeah.
Going back to Queens, I'm like.
You should have gone to Pennsylvania, yeah.
I wish I could put the car in autopilot and went in the back seat and slept.
Cool. Soon, someday. Someday.
So we have a fabulous guest tonight.
We do.
And I'm going to let Jenny.
Absolutely. I would be honored to introduce Mr. Al Cooley to you. Can we bring him in?
Let me put him in before you. Here, say hello.
Bring him in.
Here we go. Hey.
There he is.
Welcome.
Hello, good. Anthony, Kimberly, and Jenny.
Yeah.
So good to see you again, Al. We speak, we write, and we message each other, but I haven't seen you in a while. Mm-hmm. So everyone, meet Al Cooley.
Hello.
I actually have a bio to read, even though I'm familiar with him. For everyone else, Al
He's an author.
Al is an author, a podcast
Yeah.
host, and that's how I met him. I was fortunate enough to be on his podcast, and I'm so glad I was. We formed a bit of an online friendship after that, which is so nice. Al is also a musician, which is a cool thing.
What do you play?
That.
Guitar.
Guitar? I'm a drummer.
You drummer.
He's a drummer.
Oh,
Drummer.
I have to make her
Percussionist. Yeah, I play. Not just the kid. I play whatever you put in front of me. I'm just, like the.
Or a talented musician.
I like to hit things.
He's a drummer. I have to make fun of his accent at least once a show. There it is. We're done.
Of course. Yeah.
Anyway, just to be official, I will read his official biography, but Al Cooley has had an interest in the paranormal at the early age of 12, which we know, and we'll talk about later why that's significant. Growing up in a haunted house piqued his interest in the afterlife. This led to making a documentary in 1998 called Ghosts in the Valley. This led to his award-winning paranormal podcast with the same name. It is called Ghosts in the Valley. Al Cooley is also a songwriter and musician, and I have heard some of his work, opening for some of the biggest artists in the industry. His poems have been in numerous anthologies, and Spencer's Ghosts, which I am holding currently in my hand. I'm going to get that up there correctly. Spencer's Ghosts is Al Cooley's first book, a book based on a true story and over 50 years in the making. That right there is fascinating.
Really showing my age now, aren't you?
I know, he's only 25 and it's 50 years in the making. I don't understand that math, but we'll just gloss over it.
Yeah, that's what's in. So you started young also. I started
one Kindle.
Oh, cool.
I started investigating at the age of 13, but I started seeing things I was at about 3. So yeah, I know starting back then wasn't easy.
No, it's not. I don't know what year you're born in, but
62.
62. Okay, so then back in the 60s, that you didn't have internet. So who did you go to?
To talk? Nobody.
Right. So there's nobody to talk to. I was like,
and you had nobody to talk to, and you weren't allowed to talk to about it. I was in a Italian Catholic family. You don't talk.
You don't talk, right?
No.
God forbid you mention that in church, You're going to go straight to hell. You mentioned that in church,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's growing up 12 years old, I never believed in ghosts or spirits or any of that, But it's when you move into a house, if you're reading a book, that's that first chapter, that opens up the whole thing, because that was my first experience. That was my first time,
Right.
So
that's so strange that just suddenly like that, you pull up to a house and you see an apparition in the window, the ghost girl, as you call her, in the window. And to explain, his book is actually based on your true life experiences, correct?
So
correct, right. Well, there's a couple of things in there because it is a fiction book, but I would say 80% is 100% dead on. Even my wife, when she's reading a book, like, did this happen? Did that really happen? I'm like, yes, it did. The parts of probably you think it did happen, didn't happen. The parts that you think that didn't happen did happen. So it's I don't know. I've been wanting to write this book for a long time, and I kept thinking, I've had a couple. That's why it's called Spencer's Ghost, The Guardian. A lot of people pass over the Guardian part, but the Guardian is like, I felt like I have a guardian angel, because not just once, not just in that book. It's happened numerous times, and even in the book and outside of that book. So I just say the Guardian, because I don't know how far you got into the book, or
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Because there's a chapter in there about me being.
I'm not yet.
Okay. So, but there's parts in there where I'm shot at, and me and my friends, and how we survived that is a freaking miracle. I mean, because I remember right before that shooting, that's when we seen that shadow figure move in front of us. And not just me, but my two friends that were in the garage with me, so we all witnessed it, and so it's just one thing after another. Growing up during those 4 years, it starts out when I was 12 years old.
Right.
I think I stopped when I was 16. We moved out at 16.
And speaking of not being able to talk about it, I mean, your mother not only doesn't believe you in the book.
No.
Lee's mother, I should say, it's about Lee Spencer.
Yeah.
Lee's mother did not believe Lee.
Lee's mother did not believe him. Not only didn't believe him, but punished him.
Punished me for talking about ghosts. I mean, you're talking crazy. You're embarrassing me.
Get Anthony.
No, I relate.
Right. So, I mean, I thank God I had my Grandma Pearl in the book, because she was my number one. And that's not true, man. I mean, I think back on that, and she was the one I could go to and sit down and tell her anything and not be labeled crazy.
Thank goodness.
Right, and that's my mother's mother, so why did my mother get that part, so and then people that did see the same stuff that I seen, plus more violent stuff happened to them in the house. So if they went to my mother and says, "You've got to get out of here before somebody gets hurt or killed," so she would just come back on me saying, "I'm feeding these people a bunch of nonsense," and
right.
And so it's always my fault. So if I would say, "No, don't say nothing to her," because I seemed like I was reading that book back. I was like, I think I was grounded like half my life,
So what was the first experience that you experienced? At 12, you experienced it. What was the very first experience?
Well, that was the first day. Driving up that driveway, and the book explains it perfectly. The pouring down rain. It was a picture setting. With the rain, the thunderstorm, the lightning, and you're looking at my dad smoking in the car. Well, becomes my dad, because my mom's boyfriend at the start out. And the car was full up with smoke. I'm trying to get the window down just a little bit so I can breathe. And it was through that window I could actually see her in the upper front window of the house. Way I was sitting, I would probably be the only one who could see her. And when I said that, my mom was like, because they were just there the night before and they locked up and nobody's been there since then. So how could she be in that house? And I mean, I can understand her point of view. But
now you can.
I can now, right? So when I went up the stairs, because keep in mind it's an old home, wooden floors. There's nothing in the bedrooms, plaster walls, And so when you talk, you hear that echo, kind of like bounces off the walls.
Sure.
So I just went like, "Hello," with like an echo, and just playing around because I love that sound. Like I was in any Alps,
Especially being a musician, you love that in the background, that ambience sound, and when you play.
So when she answered back, she answered back with that echo. And I'm thinking, okay, my sister came up the steps, because she's about the same age as me. And I turned around and I would look in each room, there's nobody come up the stairs with me. So I said again, "Hello." She answered back again, "Hello." I'm like, okay. So I went downstairs and I didn't want to say nothing again because I just got chewed out in the car for making up something, So Tommy in the book, he told me to go downstairs and change the light bulb. Well, I'm thinking to myself, great, I'm down in this dark basement and I'm already scared,
Yeah.
I'm falling off. I'm changing the light bulb, and I remember falling straight back, and the hand grabbed two hands grabbed one on my thigh and upper part to keep me from falling. So I thought Tommy came downstairs, and I said, "Well, thanks, Tom." I looked down, there's nobody down there.
No one there. Yeah.
So that's when I ran like crazy up the stairs. That's all day one. So
day one.
If that gives anybody like a whole setup of how the rest of the days go, that's day one in this house.
Exactly. And nothing before that. And then day one is everything you can imagine.
Right. Can you imagine? I'm 12 years old. So I'm like, I would love to. No, it's went to speak at a few conferences and places I've been to. People ask me that same question. Didn't anybody, else see what you seen? I said, not then, no. So I was like on my own, and later on in the book, my sister and I, she's seen it, and yeah, we got into a little argument because I'm saying I named the ghost girl Alice,
Right.
So my sister, I kept telling her, she's about 10 years old, and around that age. And when my sister seen her, she was like maybe 21 years old.
Right.
So she's not seeing the same person I'm seeing.
So
I said, you gotta get this right. It's just no,
right.
no, that's who I seen. So yeah, that was like the first week, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you first saw Alice and your sister, based on the character Cheryl, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. She said, no, I see an older woman. Did you immediately think there's more than one ghost, or did you? I mean, at the time, you didn't have the sophistication to say, "Oh, it could be the same person."
Yeah,
I was
no, it
thinking,
sounded like you were like, "No, that's not my girl. That's not
right,
the girl."
exactly, right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking you got this wrong. I mean, I wasn't thinking like there's more than one ghost.
Okay,
I'm
that's what I
only
wanted to
thinking
know.
that she got this story wrong. She's
Mhm.
not.
Oh, okay.
She didn't see who I seen. That's all I can get in my head.
Okay.
Now
Yeah,
she's getting
yeah.
mad at me because I'm not. I'm trying to tell her what she's seen, and she says, "No, that's not who I saw."
Right.
So the next day after that eventful, that was a really scary night. That first night with the pounding on the walls and the scratching on
Right.
the walls and then there was a breathing in my ears, and then the footsteps up the steps. Like can you imagine like these footsteps going up a wooden stairs?
Mhm.
Somebody with hard shoes on going up a wooden step. That's what it sounded like. But actually, it wasn't that at all. So when I seen the light go past my door, after those footsteps, after that breathing, after that pounding, my sister seen it because she was standing in her doorway. So that's when my sister seen her. So that's when she says who she thought she saw. Well, I told her just don't say nothing to mom and dad because the next
Right.
morning I'm gonna be in trouble.
Mhm.
But she just lost
Right.
herself and told them what she saw, and I got blamed again. But
You are in trouble throughout
I'm
this
always in
book.
trouble.
Yeah, it's quite a coming of age adventure of trouble.
It really is. It's very
I would
Stand
also
By Me. Yes, very.
with adventure, but
very.
it was just like every chapter was adventure with that too, which I loved.
Yes.
So along those lines, Jenny, I have a question with that. Al, is so your sister sees it as a younger woman, and then your younger brother sees it as a nurse. So do you nurse? Oh, I'm gonna forget. Nancy?
Nurse Jane.
Jane, thank you.
Yeah.
So do you think the nurse is the same one that your sister was seeing? Do you feel like it's all three different?
No, I think the nurse Jane was Alice.
Mm.
That's what I think.
Oh.
Looking back on it,
Mhm.
but it could be, because if she was a nurse, she had to be older. But I'm thinking back then, it was Alice. I'm thinking back on it now. Yeah, it could have been the older one. And I found out there was more than one ghost later on in the book as you're reading.
Right.
Yeah, because spirits can come to you at different ages, wherever they feel that you could relate to more than. Yeah, so they could come to you as a little girl, or your sister as an older woman, or something that they could relate to, or you could relate to. That's how spirit usually is.
Almost like a shifter. It's almost like they can become already, the spirit. And,
wow.
But
they don't have a physical body; they could become anything.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was, just when I was writing the book, I'm thinking back. I'm trying to think back because this happened 57 years ago. So I'm thinking, but I can remember, like then some that I was laying in bed, and I dreamt of an event that happened in the house, and I remembered it. I forgot about that part. So I go back down to another chapter because I forgot that part. It was coming back to me.
That's
Not in bed.
amazing. I can't
Right.
remember what I ate for breakfast. Like, I don't know how you did this.
Right.
It's so
Mhm.
detailed, and you remembered it in such detail.
Yeah, I remember like the
it's
mashed potatoes.
experience,
Yeah, or the meatloaf
experience
and the
with
mashed
it.
potatoes and the peach slices. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
know. And with the Cool
and a Cool
Whip.
Whip.
Like,
And a
The
Cool
Cool
Whip.
Whip.
Yeah.
We all had that. The peach slices
like
and
I
Cool
know
Whip
with
for
me,
dessert.
because I draw my pictures. I draw. I do I'm a para artist, and well, things like people like, oh, how do you remember back then? And I could sit here and just remember. All of a sudden, it just out of nowhere, like, oh, now you remember. And then I start drawing it, and I draw with detail and everything. People go, how do you remember the detail? It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there. It's like you just put it in back of your mind because those experiences back then, you were scared and you didn't understand, and everything just goes in the back of your mind, like you're hiding it so you don't be afraid. Now you're not there no more, so everything just comes back out. It's just emptying out. It's like, oh wow, yeah, and then you can put it on ink, or I put it in my my drawings, and you can put it on paper as a story. So that's how I feel. Things that happened back then, you were so scared and you just hid it, and now it's coming back out. It's coming out now. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's like the one part in the book. I'm thinking, and it brings me to a question of today. For all my guests I have on the show, I have to ask this question. Because it blows my mind. When we jumped the train and we were going to, not far from my house, we were just going to go like 25 miles. And our train went the opposite direction. So next 6 hours we're in New York. So but we got off the train.
You're in Ohio. We should tell everyone.
Well, I left in Ohio.
Yeah.
And it was we're going to go to Kent State. We had the Kent State riots in 1970.
It's in trains. We used to do the same thing.
Right. So I'm heading back to we went back to New York. We went the other way. And when he jumped off the train, we come across Boxcar. What are you calling Boxcar? Boxcar Baxter, Billy Baxter. So he was an older guy, an older black guy, and I'm looking at him, and he looked like a train conductor, and long story short, well, after we went into the train station, the terminal, when we're getting chewed out because they think we're a bunch of thieves and stuff, and we're just some messed up kids that got on the wrong train,
Yeah.
But,
it's a great story. It was
an adventure.
Well, the lady was sitting helping us out and waiting because the other kid's dad had come. Keep in mind, he had to drive 6 hours to get from here to New York to pick us up. So,
somebody was very pissed.
Well, he's really so. This lady,
6 hours to get angrier.
Right. So she says, and they got mad at us. I kept bringing up Billy Baxter, Boxcar.
Mm-hmm.
And they says, what's up with this Boxcar? Because Boxcar died 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So when the lady brought out the picture of Boxcar was hanging on her wall, she said, is this the guy? And I says, yeah, that's him, but not that young, So if he died when he was like 30 years old, he would have been 60 when I seen him, which what he looked like. So one of two things here: either he didn't die, and he didn't hang out. How's he hang out in a train yard for 30 years? I mean,
he faked his own death.
And nobody knows. And he has a family.
He has a family, and I'm thinking, this is all of us three guys that there were thinking, 3 kids thinking, that was the Boxcar that died. He looked just like him, only older. So my question, a lot of my guesses, do you think a ghost can age? Because usually when a ghost dies, if a person dies,
yes,
they're dying at that age, and that's how that spirit usually. And when you go do investigations, and you're looking for that person, like Lizzie Borden, you're looking for somebody at that same age.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, what age he left off at.
So how does he get old?
Yeah. So as a medium, I definitely connect with people sometimes at the age they would be now, instead of the age that they've passed. These are like one-on-one mediumship sessions. I often find it with younger individuals, so people who have died younger, or even in their older, they can choose to do this. So it's their own like spirit choice, is they can choose to show up as an older age or younger. It's my experience, and many mediums have that experience as well. The other thing too on that is my own grandmother, when she comes through for mediumship readings, so say somebody's doing a reading for me, she always shows up younger. Always. And she picks this very specific age around the 1940s, 1950s, around the time of World War II. And she always shows herself in this. I think for her, it was just her glory time, really. And that's how she chooses to show up. But like the rest of the evidence matches up with my grandmother. Like I can understand all of this information you're bringing forward, but just not the age, how she's appearing. So yes, in my experience, I do believe they can show up as different ages than when they pass. I think it's less common, but they can. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because you're only
I had
like
no idea.
one of probably 50, 60 people I talked to says no. But, but I'm thinking to myself, this guy looks just like that picture. I mean, I know it's him because they said when he died in the train yard back in 1930, that all they found was his boot with his foot in it. So.
Wow.
And they're saying back then, I don't know how the DNA and stuff worked back then, if there was any.
There wasn't any back then.
But they're saying that was Billy, and I don't know. It's just I always just that part also really bothered me, because we did so much stuff, that just being on that train, back then when trains traveled on the tracks. I mean, I don't know how you guys in New Jersey, right?
I'm in Queens. I'm in New York.
You're in New York? Okay. So, I mean, back then, the trains and through here would travel like 65, 70 mile an hour. A freight train. So, we're on that train. We're not going slow. And so that's a train that's walking. I mean, you're going 70 miles. I mean, you're talking about
they can have like 100 cars on there, too. They got like 100 cars on that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The place I grew up in, Glendale, we had freight trains that used to go past it all the time. And we used to jump on the trains and, jump on them and ride them to distance and jump off, and we used to dare each other. Well, we had two friends that did that over here in Queens, and they ended up in Philadelphia. And
So
their parents weren't too happy.
Yeah.
Their parents weren't too happy.
It's so dangerous.
It is a dangerous, and jumping on that train of all of our the one buddy, excuse me, his dad worked at that train yard. So he knew he had the itinerary for where we were going. So, but he didn't really check it out. We're going to Kent.
You went to Kent. You went to Kent.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wrong way. Yeah. No.
Like, that shit just don't happen, but
what
it
is that
enough.
phone call like? I'm 6 hours away in New York. Can you come get me?
Well, that's another thing. When we got in that car, he's like, we weren't allowed to talk. I mean, from if you can imagine 6 hours back, I mean, he's really pissed.
Total silence.
I mean, and then we didn't know when we got back because we took us all night to get home, and we thought we were going home. And no, we were going back to the school because everybody's out looking for us, and we were being charged for truancy and.
And to make the phone call back then, you needed a quarter?
Right.
A quarter, right? You needed some money.
Yeah.
Nothing. Thank God for that lady that was the secretary that worked at the train yard, because she's the one that made the phone call. She's the one that brought us sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Hello, that 90-pound phone.
Yeah, and you only had like a minute to talk, because you're long distance.
Oh my God.
Come and get me. Put another quarter in. It's like,
I'm telling you, it's very Stand By Me, this book. It really is. The adventures that you have at that age.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Yeah, when the editors were doing the book, and they were trying to tell me, because who are you targeting the book to? That was the number one question. Who's your audience? I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know anybody that likes haunted stories, and no, you have to have an audience. So I says Nate came up with young adult. And I said, okay, that's cool, because I was 12 years old, seen through the eyes of Lee Spencer from 12 years old to 16. Okay, that's cool, But I've had just recently people who were 75 years old
Of course.
and older saying they enjoyed the book, because I took them back. Like the one guy was telling me at the went to a book signing last weekend, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, he jumped the train." So he liked that part because it took him back. Like it really did take him back to
Sure.
jumping that train.
That goes back to our era. Kids nowadays,
Yeah.
Kids like to do. I mean, what we
they
couldn't
do it on
play-
the video game.
Yeah, we couldn't do video games or
old days.
Snapchat or TikTok. We didn't have none of that.
Well, at least we had to
No.
talk about it, so that's a good old days.
Mhm. Right.
Well, I also loved that too. Like, so even though your mom was really like not open to this, you still found your people to talk to.
Right.
Like you still found that
Mhm.
support.
Thanks to my
And a
grandma.
lot of
Mhm.
yeah, and your friends, like your friends
Mhm.
were support. Not each one had their own level of support, but yeah, it was still so nice to see you finding that support around you. And like I could feel that search of like, will you trust me? Will you believe me? Like, will you think? And as a medium myself, like I've definitely experienced that as well. Of like, how is this going to go? But I felt that in the book, and I really loved that you looked for that support and you found it. Like you did find it,
Right.
even through the struggle.
I was blessed that way, because like my friend Joseph in the book, he's my best friend. He's still my best friend today. We're still playing a band together. So
Love that.
that's so
That's
cool.
amazing.
And I just gave him he just got the book like a week ago, and he was telling me, he was asking me, who's this one character? So, oh, come on, man. You know who this is. I'm not like my girlfriend. Like who's Trisha Collins? That was my girlfriend.
Right.
But that's not her real name. So he couldn't figure that out. I only had one girlfriend, man. That was her.
His memory is not as good as yours, Al. That's for sure.
No.
And
Well,
also,
that's another thing.
Tommy is
That's another thing, because it never happened with him the whole time we were friends.
right.
And he was at the house. It never happened. So,
Yeah.
and there was
Weird.
like you probably know this, Anthony. Or all of you really, that ghost spirits pick and choose who they want to connect with.
Oh yes,
Sure.
yes. Mhm.
So I've always said this before. If you go into a paranormal investigation, you can sit there all night and not get nothing.
Mhm.
Or it'll pick
Yeah.
not you three, but it'll pick that other person in the room.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, I also felt like the spirit had such a respect for you that it would automatically respect who you respected, which would have been your best friend and would have been your girlfriend. So it really
Right.
was like almost an extension in that way.
Mhm. They're very related to your energy. That's spirit. They relate to something that reminds maybe of their past life.
Mhm.
And that's what they attach to. Your energy of maybe reminds them of something of theirs when they were alive. Maybe a friend or just themselves. So I feel that's a reason too, because I always have children and animals coming to me.
Hmm.
I always have that. A lot of children and animals when I'm places. So and I associate with them.
Do you use like any trigger items?
Well, I just got some by accident.
God.
Just in the
Oh
background
no!
while
You
I'm
had to
playing.
ask that. You had to ask that.
Al.
Thanks a lot, Al. We were friends.
I just got. I put a bid on these dolls, and I
He said the
actually
word.
did it as a joke, and I won them. And so I figured
Oh,
that'd be
yeah.
great trigger objects. But yes, I do believe in trigger objects. So, music boxes. I got the old crank music boxes, and I actually music. That's a big thing with us. Also, we play music. So yes, Jenny. She loses her marbles every place she goes.
I do. I have marbles.
Did you
'Cause
bring some
marbles,
marbles?
everybody knows marbles.
Yeah. So
they go
yes,
back.
we do trigger objects. Yeah,
Mhm.
marbles is one of the first things.
Yeah.
But
I
that
always
goes
bring
back so
marbles.
far too. That doesn't go back to like the 1700s. That's more like beginning of the end of the 18 to the beginning of the
Yeah.
1900s.
So the three you were all on one team. You're all on the same team.
No.
We just investigate together.
Yeah.
We have in our area there's some para-unity, so we just kind of
Yeah.
investigate together.
Yeah,
Some
we're
get
three
invited.
separate teams, but we're always together.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
always together. Yeah, it's like every time we go on investigation, we're over there.
Right.
You know?
And
Yeah, I
Al,
love
you
when-
investigate as well, yes?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I never had a team. I just went out either on my own, like even for my documentary I did.
Yeah.
You know, so I would go out on my own, and I was very basic. So it was like I didn't. I had an audio recorder,
Perfect.
and then I had an infrared camera. So
Okay.
and that basically was all I had. You know, but my most all my contacts came physically, so my body was the biggest tool.
Yeah.
You know, and probably Kimberly, you can probably
Perfect.
understand because being a medium is how you can connect with your gift. You know, I never claimed to be an empath or a medium or psychic or anything, but I think maybe I am sort of an empath because I can sense. You know, I just went to a house last year. I could sense, as soon as I got there, I could sense it. You know, and then as soon as I went in the house, you know, it was that same feeling I had when I was 12 years old, and I haven't had this for 50 years. So
Wow.
and I've been in haunted places before, but have that feeling, you know. Uh, and then, you know, as yourself, you know, most of the places you go as you investigate, probably 9 times out of 10 or a little less is it's not haunted. You know, it's something else. So you want to rule out everything to make sure it's not an entity. You know,
Mhm.
Now
especially
he's speaking my language.
I'm not
Debunking.
and not a everybody wants to use the word demon. You know, and it's just
Not
really
here.
it's either a pissed off spirit
Mhm.
or ornery or just you know
Yeah.
what's to be
Misunderstood. Very
right.
misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Sometimes
So
you go
I'll say
locations and
out
have like,
too. I definitely experience the physical stuff. And one thing, I don't know if you've done this too, as you begin to kind of explore how you're beginning to experience this, is I always carry an EMF meter with me every time I walk around a location. And sure, it's to look to see, but I actually use it for myself. So if I start to feel something on my body, a response, a tingle, pain, coolness, whatever, I'll bring my meter over, and it's really just for me. Well, it's not really just for me. It is evidence, but it's helped me a ton tuning into how my body responds when I'm moving through the energy shifts. And
Interesting.
that's really, you see me always carrying it around, and it's really just
Always.
to confirm. Yeah. So I don't know if you've tried
That's
that as you're exploring how you're experiencing it.
yeah, I've done that with Kim. I've done that with a psychic with the my thermal camera,
Mm.
and it was weird because when she felt something coming, she was red, and she felt something coming. You could actually see the blue coming over
Ah,
and going around her, and
Yeah.
she was reading the person, and I was at one of the Paracoms upstate, and I was sitting there at my table, and I just aimed it at her what she was reading, and it was like weird how the woman that she was reading in front of her, a blue came up over the and went over the
wow.
psychic, and the psychic started telling her stuff, and I thought that was the coolest thing, and I did have a video of it, but I don't have it no more because that was so long ago. Everything was on the yellow V8 tape, or the
Oh
V8,
my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
the Super 8s and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, and that's
I
when I did my
recorded it.
documentary. I had the VHS tapes, and it was
Mhm.
digital tape was just now coming in the market. So
Yeah.
I had two digital cameras and an old VHS camera.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh
actually, it
my
was the VHS
goodness.
camera that did the most work because
Mhm.
because the analog was getting better picture than the digital.
Yes.
You know, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean
I got a
it's
cabinet
so
back
much
there
better
for the old
equipment today,
tapes.
though.
My cabinet back
Yeah.
there is full of old tapes. I
Yeah.
got the Super 8s, and then I got the smaller ones, the smaller 8s.
Kim's like, what?
I got a question for Kim
I'm
though.
much older than you think I am. I know what
No.
VHSs are.
You're
I
okay.
didn't experience
Do you know what
Okay,
8-track
Kimberly.
are? Do you know what 8-track tapes?
And I
I
know what
don't.
the rotary phone is, so I know how to use
Okay.
that. I am older than I look.
They just with the neck. You see that? You go,
Yeah,
The
yeah.
earrings go.
I know.
But no,
So
I
when you
never got
go,
to use the 8-track.
when you go into an investigation, Kim, do you like to know the history before you get there, or do you
Oh no.
want to go and open like a clean slate?
clean. I prefer to go in like a clean slate, which is it's hard to do, because you're walking into a building and you can already see a lot. So is it a really clean slate? Not fully, but I try not to read any signs. I try not to know any information about the location, which is kind of a shame because everybody gets the awesome history tour right when they walk into the building. And I really want to go on the really cool history tour, but I don't want to because I want to try and give myself the most, non-biased reading. And then I try and go on the history tour after, or do all my history reading after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Even like the pictures you sent, we gave to her, but she didn't know what the pictures were from and everything. We let her read it, and then we'll make information on it, whatever.
Right.
So she has no idea what was sent to her, and she does all the reading. She's awesome. So yeah, she read a couple of your pictures tonight, or the location. So
Yeah.
Right. And she'll record it. Right. Exactly. So she'll record her reading, and then we'll tell her what's going on, who's the guest, and what it's about. So it's recorded.
Just goes to the location and finds out
where
you go.
Kind of fun.
Enough, Al. My first paranormal experience, I don't know why I'm doing the pen, but for my first paranormal experience, right? Like, get this out of here.
Al.
Yeah. Well, I resonated so much with this book. Why? Because my first paranormal experience was in a house, obviously, but I repeatedly had these paranormal experiences in this person's house, and nobody in the family believed me. Everybody knew I was having these experiences, night terrors, footsteps, and I've never had any experiences before that until I got to this house. And it was my experience in this house that actually opened up my subsequent mediumship psychic abilities. So I didn't know if your connection has continued, or if you really feel like it was just your connection to that house.
I don't know. It's like, is it the connection to the house? Is it connection to the ground? Because, even to this day, even though the house is no longer there, and I'm only like 15 miles away. So if I travel past that area, which I have recently, I still get the chills. I mean, because it's so there, and I've had a medium there to go there, and she senses something there, so a spirit there, but she can't say who it is, or but she senses something there. Now, I just did a investigation last year. I went to a person's house who wanted to be on my show, but he didn't want to do any like the Zoom or anything. He wanted me there to do it in person, and he wanted me to see his house. I said, okay, cool. That house was extremely haunted. But my thinking was, and I think I said this before in a couple of the shows, that they set this house down on burial grounds. So, because the house was built in like the late 1700s. So they moved this house with a team of horses on a bunch of logs up to the location it was at. They put it like the early 1800s. So when he was plowing his garden in his field, he came up with a bunch of Indian artifacts.
Wow.
So my thinking is that they placed this house on burial grounds because he came up with all this stuff, and he sees like a skinwalker type of thing running at certain nights, run down the tree line. Well, while I was there, I haven't had that feeling, honestly, and I've had a few when I did my documentary, but this was really disturbing. I had to go outside because I got nauseated. My cell phone cracked in 4 even spots with everything turned upside down. I seen a shadow figure there, and I haven't seen one in 50 years. So it was kind of, and I do a protection prayer when I leave, when I enter, and then before I leave. That's just my thing, So
yes.
Yeah, I don't know about that, about the house. The house burnt down. I'm doing research right now for my other book I'm going to do. So I want to get more history on the house, like who was in this house. Because when we left there, the landlord told my parents that there was a young girl that died in the house.
Yeah.
Which my mother thinks this guy's totally crazy. She still doesn't believe.
Right.
So
Right.
so
Oh, that's funny. She still doesn't.
no, she when she died, she still was a non-believer. I just
Wow.
but that's okay. I've always said this. For people who don't believe in spirits or ghosts or UFOs or Bigfoot, and they don't believe in anything, and that's fine. That's my thinking. I'm not telling you like it's some person asked me last week, is there any blood and guts and gory stuff in your book? I says, no.
Well,
If you're looking for that, you got to go get
There's
something
blood.
else.
Yeah.
There are injuries. Yeah.
No, that was none of that. But my thinking is, if you've never experienced anything like cancer or Alzheimer's or in your family,
Right.
you really don't know. I mean, you listen to somebody, okay, yeah, that's too bad, but when you experience that,
Yeah.
so when you experience a ghost, when you experience a haunting, it changes you, man. It's
It changes you. Absolutely.
and I say, God bless you. If you haven't had any of this stuff before, God bless you, because I applaud you, really, I do. Because I didn't ask for this. When we moved out of the house, I never asked to live into a haunted house.
Right.
I think that really, when you say it piqued my interest, yeah, because I went on further on, I made a documentary, had my own video company, and started writing a book, and my podcast, was based on paranormal. So,
Yeah.
but I stepped outside just spirits and ghosts. So, so I'm now learning myself on UFOs and Bigfoot and
Right.
the Fae and doppelgangers and anything paranormal.
Yes.
So and
I love that.
when people come on my show, I don't label them as crazy or that didn't.
Right.
I'm taking your word for it that this happened to you. And only you know if you're telling the truth or not. I can't say you're lying.
Right.
If I did scratch my head on a couple of them. But I'm not saying it didn't happen, but.
Right.
And or they see something differently than the way I look at it. Like my first guest on, he hit me with, and I one simple question I asked him: do you feel you can move a spirit on?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yes or no. I mean, and he's like, move it on to where? I wasn't prepared for that. And there's only one place to go. It's just heaven or hell.
Right.
And he says, but there is no heaven or hell.
Who says? Right.
Because he's an atheist, and his whole team is a Gnostic. So I'm thinking, I wasn't prepared for that. So whom am I to say that I'm right?
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
So I mean, because if I feel that I'm getting more experience on listening to my other guests and everybody's coming on. You're moving a spirit on, but where are you moving on to? Right. His thinking is you're killing the spirit. There's a spirit there. So if you're gonna bring somebody in, as you put it, move the spirit on, you're actually killing the spirit.
Oh, interesting.
So who gives you right? Who gives you the right to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and Al asked me that question. I was on Al's podcast and he asked me that question. He put me on the spot. He said, and I said, is that my job? I did. I said, is that really our job?
Right, but really, I mean, that somebody asked you that question.
Yeah, I was literally asked that on Sunday at our event, at our expo.
Really?
I was literally asked that exact question.
Really?
And I've been asked that before because I can see spirit at location. That's what I, that's what I love to do. And so my personal thought about this is that it is not their whole soul essence that is at a location. So I do believe every single person, animal, whatever, does pass on. I do not believe that their whole essence is stuck somewhere. But what I do feel happens in some cases is that like a portion of their experience is still there. It's hard to explain, but it's like a portion of their soul essence is still there for whatever reason, whether they're very attached to the location, whether they died in the location, whether they built the house and they love it and they don't want to leave. Like there's so many different reasons that a portion of their experience is still there. Now, do I believe you can pass spirits on? Yes, I do believe you can. I'm in the camp of, for me, I don't feel called to do it. I don't believe that is for me. And some people do feel like it's their calling to clean up, as sometimes some people say.
Right.
But for me, I don't feel like that's my calling. And I don't think there is a right or a wrong about it at all. It's, if you're feeling called to it, then you can help. If you don't, then that's not for you to do.
So you don't think it's your job either, pretty much. It's like I said.
I feel like it's my job.
It doesn't feel like it's my job. It's not my calling. It's not why I'm here.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But it may be why somebody else is here. I do believe that some people feel really called to do this, and that there are some spirits who may want that, but they're still sovereign and they can choose not to. I don't believe that you can like twirl them up and then they're just gone.
Force them to go. Right.
Well, the whole thing is there's other religions. So we believe in heaven and hell because Catholics and, but there's other religions that don't believe in heaven and hell. They believe in some kind of paradise that they go to. Every religion has their own ending and where they're going to go. All right. So as a Catholic, and we're going to go cross somebody over, or we're going to cross them over. But how about if the person's not Catholic?
Right.
Where are you crossing them to?
Yeah. Plus, you're Catholic. I mean, you have purgatory. So
purgatory. That's what.
Purgatory. That sense of you're still here. I mean, and how long does purgatory last?
That's right.
You don't know. Different. I had Bishop Long on my show, and he had mentioned about. I had a question like, I always thought the Catholics didn't believe in cremation, and he says, no, that's not true. I mean, you can cremate, but make sure you have all the ashes together.
Oh.
And I
don't separate it. Yes.
In other words, you don't give your brother to have your mom's ashes in his necklace, and your sister has some, and you give the other some to your other brother. If she's got it all over the place, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want me to make a joke out of it, but it kind of makes sense, because I was in Erie Cemetery in Erie, PA, and I had this question, like, if the cemetery is founded in 1850, okay, but you have headstones there that are 1825. So where did these come from? It was founded in 1850. It was not there. So
I could tell you something about that.
Reinterred a lot of times.
They move them from
right.
They move them.
And if you didn't bring the whole, like say Uncle Chester's whole body,
he's missing a finger,
or a foot, or a hand.
Yeah, I got you. Or a foot.
And according to a lot of these people that work the grounds crew at the cemetery, I was talking to one of them. He said that most of the sites that are active are the sites that they moved the other body in.
Interesting.
Yes.
So that's really true.
Yeah,
that's a myth. I mean,
people tell me all the time. I grew up, and they know, I grew up around 9 cemeteries as a kid. And, the cemeteries that were back then were built because in Manhattan, they made a law that they had to exhume all these bodies and put them somewhere else because they couldn't have them in their backyards no more, and the only ones could have them were the churchyards. So, all these bodies were exhumed. So this activity, and as they brought it over back in the 1800s, they brought them on from Manhattan. They had to bring them wagon and carriage. So all the bodies are bouncing around on the wagons, being horse and carriage, and then they had to put them on boats to send them over to Queens, and then they had them horse and carriage again and get to. So by the time it got there, it was wooden bones scattered all over these carriages. So they used to make mass graves and just take the tombstones and put them there. This cemetery right by my house is like that, and they used to put the tombstones there, and now you got a pile of bones that are buried, and then you got all these tombstones all over. So I find cemeteries active. I like I said, I grew up in them. I used to see spirits in them all the time. And I have a lot of people say, well, that's where the body rests. They're not even with the body no more. Nah.
I find that, a lot of these churches, like these old churches, that, you can bury the body on the church grounds. I found those to be kind of active because, if you have a person that's buried in, say they want to be buried up underneath a maple tree, well, then somebody that's a prominent member of that church got the money, and there's they're like this high up in the church, well, they want to be buried there. So I found that sometimes they either put the body on top of the other body because after so long, they're finding out now statistically, a lot of your family members don't go to the cemetery after 20 years. So and now it's even less. Even just checked it this morning, it's like more like 10 to 15 years. So a lot of these cemeteries that they just let you see that's overgrown. There's nobody's been there, nobody's visiting. So in Germany, they're doing stuff now where they lease the ground, they lease the spot, they lease it, so they can move it. I mean, if nobody's gonna be coming there, I mean, you're gonna be put on top of that person.
Not recommended.
Right. I found out that I take that stuff serious. I mean, I do. The more I've been investigating this stuff, and especially these old churches that have the grave, they call it a graveyard on the church property. And like my family in Alabama, the Coolies in Alabama, they got spots up on, how they buried their family on, if you got 200 acres, 100, you're buried up yonder past that hill, and I remember as a kid, seeing that, going up and seeing my grandfather's cemetery, graveyard, and I'm like, there was no, I mean, there was, you didn't get buried in a public cemetery, so it was either you're buried at the church, you're buried at home. I'm sure they had little graveyards for, if you want to go in there, but it usually costs you money. You can bury yourself, you bury somebody else right on the family yard, and back then things were
well, different.
A little different, right?
A lot different. A lot less laws with resuming, with burying bodies and stuff like that, and movement of bodies, and so a lot of different laws now with moving bodies. That's it's easy. That's why today a lot of people getting cremated because it's easier to, get cremated and put on a shelf somewhere.
I went to one last year. It was a green burial, and I'd never seen that before. So that was different for me. So you're going back like the way the Amish bury. Just in a cotton shroud or nothing, or a pine box, something that, and I like the green burial sites because you're giving back to the earth,
Right.
Sure.
And I think the Indians had it right all along,
I was just waiting to bring them in.
Yeah, I was too. Exactly.
Well, cemeteries and burials have been a ritual and a sacred space for thousands of years. And though that kind of tradition and association with an event or the space and the land, and that kind of memory train with all of that is very powerful. And it's not really recognized as in that way all the time. But we were bringing up that this person's house was likely could have been on a burial site. And yes, I do experience that these burial places where people have been buried tend to have fairly intense energy. And it's not energy that you can just go in and just do a sage or any kind of prayer. I mean, they're with that land. So you remove the house, it doesn't matter. It's still there. I do find that burial places are very powerful. And Anthony, to what you were saying about like how you find cemeteries very active, I also find it's because, again, it's an anchor point, right? So their experience of their body, and some people have stronger connections to their bodies than others. And those people, those spirits may be more likely to be in the cemeteries than others. Some have less connection. So yeah, I agree on both of that. Absolutely.
Al, where is the home? How, if you can say, how far away from you would that home be, or how close would it be to like in Newton, where we're going to talk about?
I'm in Newton Falls,
Right.
and the house was in Warren. Warren is right next to Newton Falls, so it's probably 10 miles, maybe 10 to 15 miles.
Because I looked into the area a little bit in the history, because this is a history podcast. So I looked at a lot into the history of your area. And I know that I learned that there were 5 or 6 Native American Indian camps in the area, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes,
and the trails, I guess, they used to go to the salt springs. Do I have that right? Salt
Springs Road and Salt Springs. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So there were salt springs. I guess they used trails to go there, but there were 5 or 6, Native American camps in the area in the early 1800s.
There was.
So very well could be.
And I was just going to get to that. My book, when I was researching it, the City Hall, a member of the City Hall told me, excuse me, that my house, that house we're talking about, was built on Indian burial grounds. So that whole area. If it is an Indian burial grounds, it's some type of burial ground, because we're also known for very active in the Underground Railroad. Now, last week when I was doing my book signing, we had a ghost walk in Warren, and how ironic is this? I mean, I'm at the ghost walk where I'm sitting at the First Presbyterian Church. Right across the street is the log cabin that's in my book. Across that is the courthouse, right? If I'm looking straight to where I'm sitting, I'm looking at the embankment that we went down to the river. So behind the log cabin. Now at that Presbyterian church, and a lot of people don't even know this, they lived in that city for their whole life. There's a tunnel that goes from that church underground to the river.
Oh wow!
And that's how they moved the slaves back in the 1800s. And there was a lot of death in that area. So up the road a little bit, you could probably, I took one picture, it's, house with the kind of yellow house next to it. It's not in the picture, but that's the City Hall. The City Hall was very, very active. All that land between there and the river is very active. You go up maybe 200 yards further up the road, there's a American Red Cross. Behind that is the Pioneer Cemetery. Now, to this day, the people that put on the Trumbull County Historical Society put the Ghost Walk on. They partnered up with Youngstown State University, and they're now unearthing headstones and bodies in that cemetery that have been lost for all these years.
Wow.
So if they're not, like I said before, if you just don't go visit they get overgrown, land erosion.
And they get lost, the cemetery, yes.
Right. So they're bringing in this ground penetrating
radar
to try to find these headstones and give these people proper burial. That just blew my mind last weekend. I'm sitting there, I got a little bit teary-eyed.
What's the setting of your book, Al? This is it. Right. Yep.
I use my hands a lot. Sorry.
Yep. Right here.
Yeah. So
nobody uses hands here. Hey.
Oh.
No. Hey.
None of us uses hands.
I mean, literally, you can just point. What's your setting of your book? Well, that and this, and that's so cool.
Right. And I was looking at. I'm talking about the book, and she says, "What log cabin are you talking about?" And I says, "That one."
That one
That's
there.
so cool.
But that log cabin's not the same log cabin from 19.
As a matter of fact, that one. But
they rebuilt the log cabin. Yeah.
You said a river about 15 times in your what you just said, and I really can't overlook water as such a thing that people think is a conduit, for spirit energy and things like that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like and we're going to talk about bridges, so it's a little bit of a segue.
I believe, well, let's get back to when I was a little boy, and we went on a vacation, and I think I might have told you this story before, Jenny, whereas there was we came across a little encampment, and they had stores, and they were selling trinkets and all. I remember I was like 8 years old.
Mhm.
And this old Indian was sitting on the front porch, and I kept watching him taking a spoon and just dropping his coffee into this tin mug.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are you doing, man? He says, I'm getting the evil spirits out of the coffee. Every living thing has a spirit, you know.
Wow. Wait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I do that to this day. I take my, I'm not get my wife doing it.
So he
Taking
takes a
out,
spoon and takes it out. Says, "I got the evil spirits out of my coffee."
Right. So it's like he says, like, you know, the wind, the trees, the plants,
It's
the grass,
interesting.
the water. It's all energy. It's all spirit. It's
Right.
all you know, and I think that's getting back to, you know, getting it right with the Indians is that's where we separate like spirituality from Christianity. You know, who's to say that my God's not the same as your God if you're a Muslim? I mean, who's to say that we don't have the same God, or that we don't serve the same purpose? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that really played something on me as a little kid, and then before I retired a few years ago, this old gentleman I work with, I was going through the shop and he was doing that with his coffee cup, you know, taking us and doing it. I says, I know what you're doing. He says,
Oh, no way. And he
said,
must
no,
have
you
been
don't.
shocked that you knew.
Here he says that you're getting the evil spirits out of your. He says, who told you that? You know, some old Indian.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Al,
I'm gonna have to do that.
you send us
now.
some pictures of the some pictures of a drawbridge. I mean,
Yes. Covered bridge, right?
The covered bridge. You want us to tell the story about this? I know that you wanted to give us a location. Is this one of the locations that you have a lot of experience at, or let's start showing the pictures?
Let's go back to I don't know if I sent a picture of the one in Hermitage, Pennsylvania.
You sent two pictures,
this different
ones. We have this one.
There's two different covered bridges.
There's two different bridges.
That's
right.
the same bridge. That's the same bridge as the picture I sent you.
Okay, because I don't know which bridge is which.
Just show us. I'm sure Al can tell us.
Okay, this is the I got the first thing.
That's the marker for the covered bridge.
Okay, this is
that's the covered bridge. That's from the marker.
Mm-hmm.
That was built in 1831. That's in my town, Newton Falls, that I live in now.
Right.
Okay, so that's what you sent me. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Okay. Oh, good. Yeah. That's the one you sent Kim that she didn't know what that was about.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another angle.
Yeah, another angle, right.
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 And here's another angle.
Right.
Right.
That I didn't get. I didn't get this picture. I got just the other two.
No, I didn't want to send you the sign.
Very good. Yeah, that would have given me way too much.
Yeah.
Is this a different one?
That's the same bridge.
Same bridge.
One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's just at the other end of the bridge.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Because I actually seen something on this bridge in this picture, and I drew it, but I didn't get a chance to send it in. So let me get this off. I seen a man,
you drew it.
like a 20s, walking a little black dog. I don't know how he had a cowboy hat on. He has like muscular arms and cut off sleeves and stuff. So I don't know.
I never heard a story. I never heard a story about the little boy. You know.
Okay.
But I know there's so many stories coming off. You know, keep in mind that bridge is 1831. So.
Right.
This guy looks more modern to me. He's walking a dog with a leash and everything, and So like I said, I don't know anything about that. I seen it in that one picture. This picture here. He was like walking across the bridge, and he was
that's
like,
that's a one-lane bridge, yeah. So of course, not the honker horn coming through the other side, yeah.
Okay.
So I looked up a lot about the bridge. It's the second oldest covered bridge in the state, and the only one with a covered crosswalk like that. You see off to the left side there, that covered. It's 117 feet long, and it's a town lattice truss style.
Right.
And I guess there was a bridge there before, but they replaced it with this bridge, right? And in 1974, it was added to the National Register of Historic Places.
Correct.
That's
Mhm.
interesting. What's the stories with this bridge?
Now, did you want to say what you thought it was, Kimberly,
Oh
before?
yes, Kim
Oh
wants.
Yes.
yeah, maybe we
We
She
can
like
has
to
her
do
share
readings.
that
Let me give you
first.
her readings.
I
We
have
like to
it's
do the
like
reading
about
first.
5 minutes, but it's in 3 different clips. So why don't we do one
Mhm.
clip in each?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the Ohio
And
makes
I'm
so
assuming
much
this is
more
the
sense.
order. So okay, here we
What?
go. I'm
Wait,
assuming
which
this
one?
is the order. I'm going to go
One.
first.
One.
There's
Which
none of them
one?
say one.
One is first.
Okay. There's no one. There's no
We got
two.
it all
There's no
figured out here. Huh?
no. There's no number one on it.
Okay.
There's no. It just has episode 3, White Cover Bridge. And
Okay, does it say Amish?
no, this say nothing.
Does it say the
Okay, you
sizes?
might have made it too long. The
No, I
word.
did it in 3 and they were
Okay.
labeled.
Okay.
I'm gonna. This is one with your beginning. I think.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're doing another pre-reading here of a new location for this episode. And for our guest here, this is the picture. I was spent 2 different pictures. This is a white covered bridge here, a white bridge over water. I keep feeling some kind of connection to Connecticut. And at the same time, I'm seeing Amish carriages going over this with horses. I don't know. There is a connection to Connecticut. I don't know what it is, but I'm also placing this in an area where there would be farming and the Amish. So it might be very close to Pennsylvania as well. I don't know why those two are not making sense. Maybe in the history that does make sense. To Amish milk, they're saying like milk, Amish milk. So I don't know if there's a milk stand nearby or you can get raw milk. They're even saying that. So Amish milk and carts going up and down this.
Well, that's interesting because we have a big farming community around here, and because we're a village. We're a village. I mean, I wish I knew more about Newton Falls. I mean, I've known Newton Falls my whole life, but I've never had the history of Newton Falls because I grew up in Warren. But what I do know about Newton Falls, I'll have to go back and research this. But I think
I
you're
do.
right on Connecticut. I think that the guy that Newton that came in to where it's named after Newton Falls is from Connecticut. I think so.
Wow.
I don't know why
assume.
that's coming to me, but
That
I
would
don't
be
know why
really
I
cool.
shouldn't be surprised. I
That
shouldn't be
is cool.
surprised, Kim.
being from Pennsylvania, we're only like maybe 40 miles away from PA.
Okay.
So
Right.
we're the county next to Pennsylvania. So
Oh, gotcha.
So
How do
cool.
you pronounce the name of the river that it crosses?
Mahoning.
Mahoning?
Mahoning. That's the
Mahoning.
same river
The
that's
Mahoning
behind the log
River.
cabin in Warren.
Ah.
So when
Okay.
you read about the river
Yeah.
that we went down and seen
Is
the
this the
river,
river you're talking about?
yes,
There's a lot of bridges
a lot
in
of
your
covered
area.
bridges, a lot of bridges
A
in the area.
lot
Correct.
of bridges.
Actually,
Yeah.
there's like three in Newton Falls alone. So
Right, exactly. I
That's
studied
awesome.
the history of Newton Falls, and my gosh, it's bridge after bridge, and bridge gets replaced with
and
concrete
the
because of
railroad that goes over
the
our roads
steel.
is overhead. So you're going under that bridge for the railroad.
Right.
So and there's probably 3 or 4 of those. So there's a
Right,
lot of bridges.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. So cool.
Yeah, a lot
Okay.
of bridges that got progressively more bigger, or they started as just a log bridge and then became a covered bridge, then became a concrete bridge, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There were, you had ice and floods and tornadoes there and everything. I didn't know that.
A huge tornado in 1985 was massive.
Yes,
And
yes.
it was an F5. So that's the biggest
Wow.
you can have. And I think there's top wind speed around 300 miles an hour. So when that sucker came through this area, and it started in Ravenna, which is
Right.
our big camp up the road. It started there, and it moved through Newton Falls, through Lordstown, through Warren, Niles. Not Warren. It hit Lordstown, then Niles, and back at that in '85, my wife was working at the mall in Niles. So
my
my neighbor came out and he
goodness.
knocked on the door and says, "Doesn't your wife work at Sears at the mall?" And I said, "Yeah." I just heard that the tornado leveled the mall. And I had my little kids with me.
Oh
It's
my
just
God.
a lump in my throat. Like, I probably was stupid, and probably wouldn't win Father of the Year. But I put my kids in the car, and we headed to Niles
Well,
to make sure she was
well,
okay. Well, the
yeah.
tornado went through like maybe half a mile up the road and bypassed them all, but they didn't have any power. It was
Jeez.
devastating. We had like maybe 10 deaths in that area alone. Uh, it was massive, and it's just amazing that tornado did not take out the covered bridge.
But
You
it
know,
did need to be repaired, I
it
found
had to be
out. It said
repaired. It took off the
the
roof. Yeah,
sidewalk,
the
the
sidewalk,
roof of the main
the
roof,
roof.
but yeah,
Hmm.
and they covered it with metal. But
They covered with
yeah.
metal, and there was bowling balls all around the town because we had a bowling alley. So can you imagine a bowling ball as a projectile at a 300-mile-an-hour winds? So,
It's like a cannonball.
No,
oh, right. Hmm.
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
that was a massive.
terrifying.
We lost half the
Sorry I
Wow.
town.
brought it up.
Newton Falls is
That's awful.
very fortunate.
Well, it's
Very
a part of the
fortunate.
history. It's a very significant
Yeah.
part of the town history.
Oh
Not
my
just
God.
not just
Wow.
And our
just
zip code
anywhere.
is 44444.
No.
Stop
So
it.
it's called the town was zip.
Oh, no,
So
it isn't.
when I went to do my
Those are
change
angel
my
numbers.
Mhm.
spectrum from Warren to
Yep.
Newton Falls, and I told the guy, he's like, "What's your zip?" I said, "Son." He put me on hold so he could check to see if there's any other places in the United States with the same
Oh,
numbers
and
or straight numbers. There's none. So
really?
Wow.
yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Somebody who did
It
that
is cool.
gave you that number stutters.
444. Oh, and don't be
Yeah,
mean.
it could
I'm
be.
not being mean. I'm just, I'm not trying to insult anybody. If anybody gets offended in the audience, I'm sorry.
That's
But now getting to the story on that covered bridge, though, the one I was
Right.
told the most of was, as a matter of fact, I had an episode released today, and it's on the covered bridge.
Yes.
So
what do you
it's
call
a
it? Crybaby Bridge.
Crybaby Bridge, because now my friend just told me this the other day.
something
Uh,
Coming up.
Yeah.
yes, so you could hear the baby, after midnight
Wow.
or usually after dark. So I went there just past Sunday, and on the recording on today's episode, you can actually hear the thunder and the rain. The hail was hitting that metal roof above me. It was
Right.
coming almost sideways. I was getting pelted, so I got to get, and I had my wireless mic tied to a string going down
you
about
did.
20, 30 feet, so I could have it above the water and see if I
Right.
could hear anything down below. And it was so loud with the birds and the rain that I couldn't really hear anything.
Yeah.
But I've been there before, like 2 or 3 times before during the evening, closer to sunset, and I didn't hear anything then either. Now I've had
No.
2 friends of mine tell me, both of them told me, one heard the baby, and the other heard the lady, because he was kayaking the river, and he heard that lady screaming out, "Save my
Oh.
baby!" So,
Wow.
so I take both their words, because
Of course.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That's
Right.
awful.
hmm
Now, is that a common Amish story? I don't know where I'm getting this from, but I feel
Yeah,
like that's a
there's
common Amish haunting.
and that's
Crybaby?
well,
Yeah.
there's crybaby bridges everywhere.
I've heard this before.
There's crybaby bridges. Almost every town has a crybaby bridge. I've been
Okay.
finding more and more people.
You guys got one in Jersey.
Do we?
You know that? Yeah, on Clinton
No.
Road. It's the bridge
Oh,
there. They
that's
had the
right.
baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, we
Mhm.
do.
All right, I forgot.
Supposedly,
I
this
forgot.
young lady, she threw the baby into the river because she was an
Right.
unwed mother, and then she had
Right.
second thoughts after she threw the baby in the river, and then she dove into the river, and she dove into the river, and then she dried up. That Mahoning River is not very deep, but it's got a very swift undercurrent.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
baby doesn't have a chance. So
no, and
No.
and they say the best spot to hear that baby crying would be where I stood Sunday, was in the middle of that walkway, crosswalk. And it's that's where I was standing. I didn't hear it. I haven't heard it yet. So
we're going to be
Good for you
talking about a
getting out
road
there
trip,
with the
girls.
microphone.
Ladies, we're going to be doing a road trip.
Yeah.
We got to go visit
No
Al.
kidding.
goes to some
Yeah.
investigations over there.
Seriously.
Now the one that happened,
Seriously.
the other bridge I sent you was in the Hermit. That's one I did my documentary on. Was the Hermitage Bridge on Hogback Road. So it's a Hogback Bridge. Now then again, this is back in 1996, 98. I can't remember this was one 96, 98. I was there, and it was more of a wooden bridge.
Okay.
Now they've redone that bridge since then. Now, I've had my friends there. I've taken my friends there because I know what I witnessed on that bridge. So when I was doing the documentary,
Oh.
I hired some actors out of a modeling agency in Youngstown, and the young girl had to play the bridge because the story is a young girl comes underneath the bridge and she's holding a lantern on the bridge, and she gets in the back seat after you get out of the car and you take your keys out of the car and you're supposed to and they get back into the car and your car won't start, and then the girl's in the back seat of your car.
Oh
That's
boy.
the story. No, we did that and nothing.
So it's like a ritual, like Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Exactly.
Like you have to go through it.
The
Okay.
girl the actress
Watch,
I
something
had,
comes behind me.
right, the actress I got to play the ghost that comes up, she knew the area better than I did. She knew the story. She knew the history. So the legend, so she says, I'm not doing this unless you put me a bodyguard under the bridge. Well, I said, okay, so my buddy who's like,
she wasn't taking any chances.
none at all. So my buddy was like, he's like 6'8", 300 some pounds. And he's, I'll go in there, I'll do it, So my main actor didn't show up. And then my other lighting guy didn't show up, and the makeup girl didn't show up. So all these people didn't show up. So I told the actress, I said, we can cancel this and do this another day. She says, no, I'm here. I got my courage up. Let's do this. I said, look, so I told my friend Art, who was the bodyguard, I says, can you play the part of Pepper Jones? Because he doesn't have a talking role. All he does is get out of the car and, I can do that. So, but the problem is, now when I went up the road with my other guy and the driver and Art, I had to take him with me. I forget why. He had to go up with me. Oh, he drove the car. That's right. The other guy didn't show up. So it's just me and Art and a girl. I had seven guys supposed to be there. And there's 3. So I left her there by herself. So she's only there for maybe a minute because we just went up the hill and turn around and come back down. I'm filming coming down. So she's just standing there like in the middle of the bridge, on the bridge. And she was petrified, So I got there.
She lost it.
We got her in the car and took her out of there, and she said she was petrified, and she wouldn't say what happened. She couldn't tell me what happened.
Oh,
so,
no.
So I said,
she saw something.
She did. So I told Art, and I told just take her up the hill, calm her down. I'm going to get some more footage under the bridge. So I'm
a true investigator.
Right.
I'm going in.
I'm down under the bridge myself, and I'm thinking there's nothing down here. I've been there before. Right. It's like I don't know if I believe the story, and all of a sudden I hear like a growling, but I don't see anything. So then I get back up on the bridge, and and somehow somebody takes their fist and just pushes you in the back. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. It wasn't a muscle spasm. It was like somebody hit me in the back. Wow. And there was nobody there. And then I'm like, oh no, here we go over this. I'm 12 years old again with this.
Here we go again. Right.
Touched,
with you. That's what. Right.
Then your ear is flicked. So I basically like, why aren't they coming back and picking me up? He was under the impression I'm going to walk up this hill and meet him up the top of the hill.
So now you're stuck down there.
I'm stuck down there right by myself. And that was at that moment, where I see my body's the biggest tool. Yes, that's how I felt. Like my equipment wasn't picking anything up, but it was me, myself. That girl that played the actress, she was telling me it was so bad. She about peed herself because she was petrified. I felt bad for her. And I'm really lucky I haven't been sued. For all these putting these people in certain positions that they shouldn't have been in. by herself. Now, what happened if she fell off that bridge or
Wow.
something? What happened to her? It was a bit on me,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was getting those stories. You know, it's an end to me where are they true or not? You know. So when I was
Right.
walking back up the hill to meet the two of them. Here comes the Hermitage sheriff.
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
have a permit.
His
I
whole
don't have a
life is an
permit.
adventure.
Right. I don't have a
Never
permit for
ends.
this for my video and nothing.
Just subtly breaking rules all the time.
Oh, what do you do? He says, "What are you doing down here?" He
Innocently.
hold my camera and
What are you doing down here?
right. I'm trying to get
How
a
do I
ghost.
explain this?
I'm trying to videotape a ghost underneath the bridge. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've done
You're
that
a ghost.
many times.
That's what the hell.
I'm
I
a
just
ghost.
told him. Here this cop is. He's gets out of his car now. He's telling me his whole story. Because he knew the legend.
Oh, he's got a story too.
But his legend's a little different than what I heard. You know, his was that was during the slave years, and they were lynching. The KKK was lynching a black family in that area under the bridge. They killed everybody but the little girl. Well, the little girl was coming back, you know, and then they found her and they hung her last. Now that's his story. That she's the one that came. She's the one that's coming up on the bridge.
Right.
So you know you get all these different stories.
Sure.
So my thinking was it's just not the
Legend.
stories. It's what I was.
Right.
Felt,
it is legend.
Right.
Yeah, everything's
Right, at that
strange. We still got another couple more of those readings by Kim, so I'd like to get to that.
And she said, I saw your face light up when he said a few things, so I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so this is I'm guessing this is the second one. I hope I have them in order.
That's fine. There's no order after that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Very good. So the other thing I want to talk about is seeing two spirits here. I'm seeing the spirit of a father and a daughter. They're taking me to the 1940s and 1950s. I do feel like this was a crash. I do feel like they lost their lives, if not there in the hospital later. I feel like this was a head-on crash. And so what they're making me feel like is that this girl would very much so be seen, as well as this man who would also just be kind of present as well. And these are like full apparitions. People would literally see full apparitions of both of these or one of these in this or around this bridge. I'm feeling like it's more in the bridge that they would feel it or see them. Full on apparitions. I mean, almost as living as day. Like, no, you would literally mistake somebody for being there or seeing somebody at the end of the bridge and then you look back and there's nobody there. I'm also wanting to say that they might hear giggling. This would be the girl. She's around the age of 6, 7, and he's in his 30s, early 30s. It feels like father and daughter.
That's interesting because one of the other stories is an Amish family going across the bridge. Father and daughter. He actually killed the daughter and threw her off the bridge.
Wow.
That was one of the other stories for the Hermitage Bridge. So I was. There's so many there. I mean, and when I put out in the news, because we didn't have, like I said before, we didn't have Google or. So how do you look for your story? So I put out ads in like Pittsburgh newspaper, Cleveland, major newspapers. I'm looking for true stories in the Northeastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania. Oh my goodness! I mean the stories I had coming in were a lot. So which ones do you pick? You know, and you would get some fun. Like, it was kind of weird because the Hermitage, the Hogback Bridge story came in almost 3 times, but all three were a little different, but it was the same location. So
I have a question. As a little girl, is the little girl wearing blue, Kim?
I guess that's for you, Kim. Or
yeah,
she is wearing a dress. I can't tell the color of the dress.
So maybe
sometimes
it's white.
I can. I'm not as visual as like my friend Anthony is. It's more of I just get a sense. Sometimes they're very visual for me and I can tell colors, but She is wearing a dress. That I can definitely say.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't stared at the pictures long enough to actually get my any more opinions on that.
Detail.
So,
well, let us know.
I got I just got this. Like I said, this is all I got. So far.
And there may be a story there on that one. I mean,
exactly.
We're talking about a bridge that was almost 200 years old. So
right.
There's a lot of stuff that I know of that happened in my times. So I mean, with the a car just spun out there on that bridge a couple of years ago and took out one of the truss supports. So it was nobody could walk across a bridge or drive across a bridge for a couple of years. And
so.
Anthony, did you get like a feeling of what era that would be? Like 50s, 60s?
This to me seems more modern.
Yeah,
just the way he's
like
dressed.
80s.
Baseball cap and maybe 80s.
Interesting.
90s. Because he has like that, what the Italians call the wife beater shirts. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
The tank top.
Wife beater. My husband called it that. I'm like, don't call it that.
it's all thing. Hey, you got the old white beater. But
but we all can picture it.
I love
it has
the shirt on and blue pants.
That's a good question though.
Yeah, his shirt was white.
It is.
So, and the dog was gray, and to me, it looked like a schnauzer type of dog. A little hairy dog. It could have been even I don't know, those little hairy dogs. I don't know those dogs.
You're very good with animals. He's very good with drawing and sensing animals.
Yeah.
So
Kim's a little good with animals too. She's a veterinarian.
Would you consider like animals have a very good sense of, say, paranormal, of spirits?
Very good sense. Yes.
Because I knew in my book we have the dog in the book.
Yeah,
and,
we talked about the dog earlier today.
Yeah,
Look at the face. Don't give it away. Don't give it.
Yeah.
Don't give everything away.
Yeah.
Don't give
because
it away.
there's so much.
About giving
read the book.
Yeah, read the book. Right.
Read the book.
Read the book.
Pierre the dog. Yeah.
Pierre.
Read the book.
Is that Pierre's real name?
Yes.
Oh,
really? We thought that might be a real name. Okay, we talked about it today, but we don't want to give it away because we want
to ask my mother. Is Pierre French?
Oh,
French poodle, yeah.
So there's one more clip with Kim. So we should play this one. This is almost 2 minutes 30 seconds. So here we go.
Okay.
So I want to have parades on this. I want to have like veterans parading over this bridge, and that would be very important. I do feel like the town parade goes over this bridge or some kind of memorial parade. This would be for Memorial Day, I'm feeling like. And there's a strong veteran connection to this bridge. So serving in military is for some reason very connected to this bridge. So I do feel like this has been rebuilt. I want to say twice. It's been rebuilt twice. 2 major rebuilds. There's still a connection to the military. So what is this? This military connection. So I'm seeing like a small militia. They're showing me a small militia walking over the bridge. They're saying short-sighted, but they would have crossed. I'm not feeling like this bridge was around in the Revolutionary War, but there's like Revolutionary War ties to this bridge, and I don't really understand that. There's Revolutionary War ties to this bridge, and also Civil War ties. They also want to talk about the pennies. So I think people go and like throw pennies. I mean, I know it's a very common thing to do on bridges, but like bringing the pennies. There's also something here about somebody who is who's living now or has recently passed, and they're kind of like the bridge keeper. So this person would, I don't know, they're showing me sweeping the bridge, like sweeping cobwebs, sweeping spider webs, like really taking care of this bridge. They're calling him the bridge keeper. So he just kind of maintains the bridge. But I think this is a modern person. I think he's alive or just recently passed. And it does feel like a male. This is not a big town that this is in. This is actually quite a small town, and this is a feature. Let me go to the next picture. So again, it's the bridge here too, just on the other side. So again, yeah, I'm seeing standing figures at the end of the bridge. Oh, and the other thing I'm seeing here are headlights. So at night, people may see headlights and there's no cars there, but there's definitely 2 headlights at like the other end and there's no car. So I am excited to see what the history actually is for this.
You're right on quite a few of those.
Many that I looked up in the
Right.
history.
I mean, there are parades that go across the bridge. We have
Cool.
we have a parades for everything because we're a little village. So if they constructed a new road sign, there's a parade. You know,
I like that.
as
I
far
like
as
that.
the
It's my
military, you're
style.
right on the military because the base that's only 3 to 5 miles from my house is a Camp Garfield. It's called now. It was Camp Ravenna back then, and the military came in and through our town. There's 3 covered bridges, so they would come through our town, and you'd have to use the bridge. Even to this day,
Right.
they come to our Dairy Queen and they have to cross. You know, one of the bridges they got to cross. You know, so that's a very big on the military. Very big on the headlights. I've heard that on the headlights being on the other end when there's nobody there. There is a maintenance that take care of they take care of the bridge maintenance, sweeping. They just sided the bridge, new roof. They have been used to rebuilt. You know, probably if you talk about the bonus trusses, because when they do the truss, they got picked that bridge up. So that's why it took so long because the Army Corps engineers have to do that. And so the bridge isn't taken care of by Newton Falls; it's taken care of by Trumbull County. So it's and that's why it took so long to fix the bridge because it's Army Corps that has to come in and do that. There's a lot of history to that bridge. Cars or trucks that think they can do. You've seen the pictures. It gives you the clearance of the bridge.
Height.
Right.
And these trucks will try to make
right.
it through there, and they're a foot higher than what the opening is. I mean, so we have that. Hopefully, that hasn't happened that often recently. But they they get stuck underneath. Like I said, the railroad crossings that go under the bridge. They get stuck there, so they have to either let the air all the tires for these trucks to get them back out under. So we are a little village. We probably, if you watch a Hallmark movies, we could be like a little Hallmark town. I mean,
charming, very charming.
I mean,
I like
it's a charming town because I'll just give you a short story. I had to get a car battery last year, and I'm like, I go to it. Everybody, there's McDonald's here, and there's a Domino's and Pizza Hut, but mainly it's all family-owned stores. So I go in and get a battery, and it says online. I checked online. Hey, they're open till 5:00. Well, it's like 3:15. I know they're still open. I go there, and the guy's locking his door, and I'm like, "Aren't you open till 5?" He says, "Yeah." Well, you're leaving early. He says, "Yeah." Well, online says you're open till 5. He goes, "Yeah." I says, "I'm going, well, what's going on?" He goes, "Does the internet tell you that my wife makes the best chili in the state of Ohio?"
Oh no!
So he was going home to get some chili, and you'll find that most of these stores in this town they'll say they're open till 9 to 5, but they decide to close the day. They're not there, And I know Al that owns Tiger Den Pizza and Pam that owns Broad Street, Antiques.
How nice.
So all these stores are. I go to Zip Lube, that's get Zip Lube. So
the
then
the Zip thing again.
Yeah, right. And you feel, when we moved here, I said, my wife said, there's no Walmart, there's no big stores, and so my friend says, well, you're right. You're literally moving in the middle of nowhere, but the middle of everywhere. So, if you travel 15 miles this way, you're going to go to Warren. You go 15 miles this way, you're going to go to Austintown. These are all bigger cities that have Walmarts and,
Okay.
bigger stores, So, but we're a small community. And so I get excited when I found out about the Crybaby Bridge. I said, I can't be the same bridge I'm talking about, And, so, and I think
really.
if you listen to that video, that episode today,
Podcast.
you're right. It was that was kind of eerie, because I left early in the morning.
So you tell your whole story of that in your podcast.
I did, and
podcast.
there was no rain. It was on my way there, and all of a sudden this huge thunderstorm rolls in.
It must have been creepy.
Right, and here I am trying to listen to a baby or something, and it was.
Maybe you weren't meant to hear that, baby.
Yeah, it's hard doing EVPs and filming outdoors. It's hard. For the paranormal, a lot of times the investigation, we're like, we need it quiet. We need it perfectly quiet.
Yeah.
And in reality, 90% of everything is not quiet.
If you plan
one of the tools,
it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. One of the tools we use a lot is Jenny has what's called a DR60, which is a voice recorder, but it's very good at specifically picking up voices or other, it's very good at filtering out. So that we've had good luck with that, especially when there's been some noises around. It actually tends to pick up just the voices.
Yeah, it's also a piece of tool.
Right, you're able to distinguish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that it's a voice. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Military. I don't want to forget. I did when I looked up the history with the bridge and everything. I know some of your bridges were turned to concrete specifically for World War II to have the military needs shipped across the bridge. So there you go. You turned,
that's correct.
Literally turned to concrete in 1942 and 1943 for that reason.
Right.
And what military base is this again? You said Garfield?
Right now it's called the Garfield base. It's called Camp Garfield. It's a national. It's a Ohio National Guard base. And the government's looking at making this one of the nuclear sites. So we have silos out west, but they want to put more, which makes sense to me, more on the East Coast. Because I think we're still in competition with Buffalo, New York, and another one. I can't remember.
Okay.
I was just talking to somebody last year, talking about Dairy Queen. I was there, and this whole group of people, military showed up, and I'm like, I just out of the blue asked him, what is it true that they're going to put some nuclear silos? And he goes, I said, should I be a little bit worried, living in their backyard? And he goes, dude, if you lived in Niagara Falls,
right,
or New Jersey, you might live 6 seconds longer. If you live there in New York or New Jersey, you'll live 6 seconds or 6 to 10 seconds longer. So, in other words, don't worry about it.
Right, you're still gonna die
if
there's an accident. Oh, what a horrible way to look at it.
It's okay. I think you got to worry more about Yellowstone volcano erupting than that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But they usually give us warnings here in town when they're letting off the big bombs. That's when they go into their training. Now I can actually feel like what would maybe feel like living in a bomb infested city. If your town's bombed, because our whole house rattles. I mean, the first time we moved here, honestly, God, I thought a plane hit our house.
Wow!
Because it shook so hard. And when my neighbor came out and says, "No, they're just on the big bombs today," and you don't know when they're going to do it. It might be like 2:00. They usually start like 10 in the morning, and
so all of a sudden the house starts shaking.
Well, yeah, they'll blow off the big bomb, and then the big bombs were
Your
used
face,
like the huge craters. on Sundays
I know
you can
your
hear
face is killing me. You're like, what?
Sorry, I can't. I know I cannot. I have a very hard time controlling my. I am.
She's like,
that
what is
is-
happening?
Well, we have Picatinny Arsenal here, and so
Right.
they will do explosions here, but not nuclear explosions.
Well, no,
No,
we don't do. They're not nuclear bombs. They're just called big bombs. You know, so,
Oh,
so in
big
other words,
bombs.
Big,
it would be
bombs.
it would be
Big
the ones that
ones.
leave like
Crazy.
a 20
This
foot
is
crater.
crazy.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
But on
gosh!
Sunday,
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that
Oh
here.
my
but
gosh.
on Sunday
But
mornings, you can hear like the machine gun fire, or you'll hear
Wow.
the grenades. But that, you know, so they have to do their active training.
Right.
And sometimes you'll sit in your, I'm sitting in my
Yes.
sunroom and we'll see the big, those Chinooks. You know, you never saw how big a Chinook is when you see it up close.
Yep.
That's the double
Huge.
propellered
yeah, so, yeah,
helicopters.
military
They come
is
flying almost treetop
there.
level over our house because
Right.
they're doing their training, and then you'll have an F-18 or something flying over, or and they do their training. And I says we didn't get that when I lived in Warren, you know. So
Oh no.
Right.
You sound like you live
What's
by me in New York with all that machine guns and blowing up and
Stop it.
house
No.
shaking
Stop.
and all that stuff.
don't
running for your life.
badmouth New York like that.
No,
Yeah, I
What,
mean,
no, what's the difference between the Ravenna Arsenal? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Ravenna Arsenal is Camp Garfield.
The same thing.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if it was
They
the
just
same
they
thing.
just
Okay,
they
so
just changed their name.
they built it in the 1940s
Yes.
to produce bombs and large artillery, right?
Correct.
Large
And there was a
caliber
big
artillery for the war.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
artillery.
I
There
did
was
my
one of-
history.
They were. Oh, that's very good. They were the
Wow.
number one. Usually, they were the
Thank
top
you.
suppliers of the bombs for the. for
Not
the
to
World
change the
War II.
subject too much, but I want to go back to that house that you said that now it's not there that you grew up in.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures of the land or of that area?
I do, and I'll send it to you.
Okay,
Yeah,
send
good.
it to her because
I would
I
love
mean
to.
Kim
You
might
can
get
draw.
a reading, and I could probably if I get something, I'll draw it.
I knew I had a picture of the house, and I can't find that picture. So either my brother or my sister may have it. So I'm trying to find. I know I have one picture of the outside of the house,
I would
When
love
you
to see
find it,
that.
you're more
Having
than
read the
welcome to
and I
book.
send
can't
it.
find. I can't find that freaking picture. You know, but I did drive by with my brother-in-law about a year ago, and I took a picture of. I want to go down and take some pictures of what's in the book. So I
Mhm.
took a picture of where the train depot was in Warren that we jumped on that train.
Mhm.
Now to this day, you know, those tracks are taken out. The tracks aren't even there. So where we went down in the embankment behind the log cabin, that's all overgrown. I was like, how the heck did we even get down that embankment because it's so steep?
Mhm.
So that's you know how you have the land erosion and you know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
grounds. No, it's going to change. The
Mhm.
log cabin is a second log cabin. They rebuilt it.
Mhm.
I do have pictures of the original log cabin though, and
Oh, good.
I mean, you
I-
could send us any pictures, and if we could help
We
you
would
out,
love it.
Absolutely.
we would love to help you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
yeah. So only thing I can do now is I got to go to the library because I go to I went to City Hall. I went to the title office, land office. I'm trying to get just information on this house. And it's so hard that once a house is gone,
Mhm.
that so what we're doing now, my wife and I, we're going to the library, and I'm going
Yeah.
to the archive, you know, the fish that you do on the computer, and I'm trying
Microfiche,
to,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
going back
All
and
the
trying to
fun.
get the. Now I'm back to 1924.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just trying to find out if any. I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that when the house burnt down, somebody perished in that house as well. So I'm trying to get more information on the house. So when I do my book two, because it's picking up from in book one, it stops in 1971.
Right.
Book two is going to pick
You're
up in
16 in that
right.
time.
So book two is going to pick up in 1985. So that's
Oh,
when that's when the tornado.
So there is a book too, everyone.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
Awesome.
there is a book too.
So I have three. Well, three. They've been building up, but yeah. The oh gosh, did I already forget it? So one thing I wanted to say. So locations, in my experience, if like something happened there, they tend to attract similar things. So if something had happened in that house 100 years ago or however old it is, it may be more likely to have some kind of event beyond that, and it'll kind of almost snowball sometimes, like the energy of a place. The other thing I wanted to say too was, why now? Why write this book now, Al? It was published in 2024.
That's a good question. I had a question asked me last week. Why did you wait so long? Why
It's an
now?
obvious question, right? Yeah.
Because I have another statement after this too, but yeah.
Why now? Because I had when I talk about the guardian, I've had like a guardian angel. Well, last year I had to put my father into we didn't at that time, but I'm taking care of my dad who has Alzheimer's.
Okay.
My sister and I. So I'm basically living there 3 to 4 days of the week. And my mother died of a rare disease. My bio dad died of Alzheimer's. My wife's father died of Alzheimer's, So all this is going on. And I'm thinking I got one parent left, and he just can't go die normally. And it just die in your sleep. It has to be like a big production thing. Again, I'm thinking, and I'm really pissed off at God. So I'm driving home and I'm cursing God. I am really blasting. And I'm not that type of person. I'm not a person to like just lose it, and like a mental breakdown. I'm not that person. But I felt like I was that day. I was driving. I'm stopped at this intersection. I'm out in a freaking cornfield on my way home, and I just hold on to the steering wheel, just cursing God, like, damn, And I went. I looked both ways, and I go. There's no car coming. None. I go to take off, and all of a sudden there's a car coming at 70-some miles an hour. I didn't see, and it's probably 15, 20 feet away from me, heading straight towards me. Now, I'm thinking to myself, how your life goes in front of you, and my wife, my kids, my grandkids, and I'm thinking, it's done. I'm done. I'm just praying that they'll be okay. And that's what I'm thinking. Next thing you know, I'm holding on to the wheel, and I'm on the side of the road, and he didn't hit me. It's like he veered across the road, hit the stop sign, went down to like a 15-foot ditch. And the reason why I say 75, that's what his speedometer was stuck at when he was in a ditch.
Oh my God.
And he should have hit me. I mean, honestly, he should have hit me, and I shouldn't be here. And I'm like, that's my guardian angel. I kept thinking I was saved. Here I was blasting God. Now I'm praying to God, like, God help me through you.
God.
Dear God.
He was Jesus. Like, I'll show you.
Exactly. So why writing a book now? Because I feel like that right now is the time to write. I want to be 70. So it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say how much longer I got, but I'm just saying that I should have wrote it years ago, but I'm thinking who would listen to me then? But now with the way everything is today, I think people are a little more acceptive of the paranormal.
Exactly. Yes.
Then if you would have came up with this book 20 years ago, you would probably lock you up. I mean, like in the one story, when you call the cops and the cops come to your house, are you going to tell them, a ghost? It's not a human. It's a ghost. They're going to lock you up.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Now is a good time, I think, with this way stuff in the air with the people's like more accepting. I mean, how many podcasts I'll turn on the paranormal or Facebook, even Facebook groups like yourself. I mean, you guys are. Can you imagine going somewhere, 20 years doing what you're doing now?
No way.
30 years ago, forget it.
If four or five of you guys showed up at a place, they're like.
I lost friends back in the 70s and everything in the 80s because they thought I was crazy, and here I am going to cemeteries by myself, and everybody thought I was crazy. I just wanted to get answers. So
another thing,
and you called it the supernatural, not the paranormal.
We call it, it was all supernatural. When the paranormal thing started, to the TV show started.
Just like Kimberly, you would have, labeled out there. I mean, because all we had back at that time, like people that do what you do now, were like, they had tarot card readers, and you did the future. You could predict the future, or look at your hand and the line. I remember that, and they were always considered crazy. Now that's more. I see police departments bringing in mediums to help on cases.
Sure.
Right. So I mean, times have changed, and And again, with I hope, pray to God that I don't get the Alzheimer's or dementia, but
Yeah.
I want to remember now what I can remember of the time and try to get as close as I can to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's a lesson for all
We
of
got
us.
5
really.
minutes.
Yeah,
Kim, you want to ask your next question, and then
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
We
want to
gotta
read a
take
quote
tonight.
from your book
Good.
before we go.
So I was just going to say, I love that you wrote this now. And when the time is right, the time is right. And it'll just flow out and it'll be easy and effortless. And you are an excellent storyteller. The story just flows from adventure to adventure. And also, I've found that locations will find us almost. So there does feel like, I love that you're doing a second book. I'm excited for that.
I know, me too.
Because there's still some stories of this house that want to be told of this land.
Yeah.
And it wants to come out, and it is, and I think a lot of people are being more receptive to that and finding their muse, and they've definitely found their muse. So thank you for bringing that out. Yeah.
And you can find this book on Amazon, correct? Just before we'll do I know we have 4 minutes, so
Yeah.
make sure people know.
You can do Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart,
There you go.
Apple, almost anywhere. Kindle. Yeah. I'm so blessed with the people that are buying this book and supporting me. I'm getting messages every day on, and that touches me, because
you have the audio also.
And I have it in process. So
okay.
Good.
It's not there yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to see how the book was doing, and
no, let us know. Anthony's a listener. Definitely.
I'm a listener. Hey, I can't read, what I'm saying? That's why I do this. I became an electrician, because I can read, I can tell colors. I could tell different color wires.
Don't worry. He's really good at what he does.
So I'm going to have to say thank you, Al.
Yes.
For coming on. This was awesome. We had a great time. You guys want to say anything?
Do you have a website, Al? Is there a website that people can find you at?
Oh, yeah.
AuthorAlCooley.com.
Okay.
AuthorAlCooley.com.
And you can ALCOOLEY.
ALCOOLEY. Yeah. And you can my podcast is on there. You can get every episode of my podcast on there. The link to my book. You can message me if you want to be on the show or talk to me, ask me questions, whatever.
We always love to be on the show.
Podcast.
So if you ever want you have any openings.
Oh yeah, definitely have the three of you back on my show.
That'd be awesome.
He has a fabulous podcast, Ghosts in the Valley, award-winning podcast.
I
have to read this. Okay. I have to read this, Al. This is my favorite thing. Dang, I am the best agitator in the world. He's laughing. Maybe I'm losing my touch. When I die, I want this put on my tombstone. In capital letters, the best agitator who ever lived.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
My sister says, you were the best agitator, because you wanted to kill me half the time.
I love that line so much. The best. I can see a 12-year-old boy going, yeah, when I die, I want to be known as the best agitator who ever lived.
That's another thing. I try to make it into the eyes of a 12-year-old.
So charming. This book is so charming and so wonderful. Read it. Everybody read it. Go buy it. Read it.
Yeah. And so true stories. It's true.
It's based on a true story.
Not the whole thing, but I mean, when you're reading it, it's like, what?
Yeah. And check out Ghosts in the Valley today. Came out today. Crybaby Bridge.
Awesome.
Cool.
It's a short. It's one of my short. I think it might have been one of my shortest ones I've done. But it was just.
Where can they find Ghosts in the Valley? They can.
Ghosts in the Valley can be on Apple, Spotify, iHeart.
Okay.
Great.
Facebook, you can find them.
All right, we got a minute here, so I gotta say
got a minute.
Thank you again. We thank you, Al, again for coming on, and we had a great time.
Yeah,
your stories are awesome. They really
great
were.
Show.
And I think this was a great show tonight. We really had a good show. I just want to say thank you to the audience, everybody that came and listened to us, and just came out to say hello. And check out Al's books.
Who's up next?
Who's up next?
Next week.
We got Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher.
Hopper.
No, Carrie Hopper.
Hopper.
I got the wrong Carrie. Carrie
This
Hopper
is an ongoing
on
thing
next
with
week.
us.
And I'm not going to say what it is because Kim has to do her reading on it first. And there's going to be
I can do earmuffs.
Yeah, earmuffs. But yeah, next week's going to be a good show. So I just want to thank everybody. Just want to make sure everybody support your historic locations.
Yep.
They're going fast. If you don't want to do it as a paranormal, you can just go there as a historian buff or just visit. And and I just also want to say, be safe out there. You want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. All right. Good night.
Good advice. Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Whoops.
Yeah.